Hi there, everybody. Steve Jensen, Dr. J from the National Sales Academy and Impact Training and the Sales Authority Club, a new club that we've actually opened on Facebook and also in Thintific, which has got a great tribe of people that we've been working with now since June. So if you'd like to know a little bit about it, let us know. It's been a great way of actually using a blended process of online and face-to-face training. Today, I'd like to talk about training. And we do training and have done training all around the world for nearly 3 decades. And one of the things that we do really well is to make sure that we teach people how to do things back at their business. But isn't it interesting that when we actually teach people things, they fail to implement them? Why is that? Why do some people fail to implement? Implementation is the key to any training. If you're going to train any type of skill, whether it's from accounts, into operations, into sales, into leadership, and you read a book or go to a seminar or whatever it may be, that's called the impact. Funny that, we're impact training. Impact is the first step of learning. And when it comes down to that impact, people go, wow, that's incredible. So it's important when you're doing the impact stage that you write stuff down and you have an action plan to go to the next stage, which is called utilization. Utilization is the most important part of the next step after the impact. I'll say that again. Utilization is the most important part after going to the learning, going to the workshop, doing the practice. And if you ever do a training, which is a tell training, you need to stop and actually work out a way of doing a show, tell, do. In other words, you've got to do what you're supposed to do before you leave. When it comes down to training, show, tell, do is critical. Show, see it, hear it, and then do it. And you need to do it 6 times to get a minimum of 62% retention. So as some of you all know, the way that we do training is 6 plus 3 plus 1. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Stop 3 times, done properly without a mistake. Then 1 time for good measure. So we create the neural pathway. So in any type of training that you're going to be doing, make sure there's a do factor and that you're able to do it not more than once, not just once. Okay, if you're getting the learning and the teaching correctly, and I'm hoping you are, the next step, and the reason that people fail to implement is they don't have an action plan on what they're going to do to utilize. In other words, take back to your business, back to you, Proprietary Limited, and when are we going to do the practice and recap what we've learned? This should be done within 24 hours. Please write this down. This needs to be done within 24 hours of a learning. Utilize it straight away. Utilize the skill. Get it out of the box. Get it out of your mouth. Put it in, write it down. Whatever you've learned, do it. Don't wait for 2, 3, 4 days. I'll do it in a week. It'll be gone. It'll be gone. Utilize it as quickly as possible. Practice with your friend. Practice on your own. Just do it. Utilization is critical to make sure that we, consolidate that learning outcome. And one of the reasons why people who are incredibly successful are successful is because they're quick to utilize. I remember a time where I was at a training one day at a business, and we had a lunch break, and we did lots of practice and show, tell, do beforehand. It was a strategy. It was actually a closing strategy. One of the guys went down and had to go on to, do a little bit of work in their lunchtime. And guess what? We just finished doing it. He had an opportunity to do it straight away. So they went straight from the utilization into implementation and doing it in the business. And guess what? Because we've just finished the utilization part in the show, tell, do. He came back and I said, oh my goodness, it was an opportunity and I just took it. And I utilized it and implemented all in one, and it worked. It went, whoa. And by the way, isn't it interesting when some people do the utilization and then do the implementation and it works, other people get excited to do it too. Now, why does utilization work? The reason it works because it takes the learning and puts it into practicality. What doesn't work is putting it in the back, putting it in on the shelf and say, we'll use it later. I cannot stress this enough, and I need to stress it strongly. When you learn something new, go back and practice it with somebody else. Now, if you can teach somebody else, you'll learn it 5 times faster. But remember, the 6 + 3 + 1 model. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3 times without a mistake, and 1 time for good measure. Utilization is critical if you want to take away a skill and make it your own. You'll hybrid it, I'm sure. Utilize it. Utilization is go back and practice it, and once you've done your practice and you feel comfortable, implement it straight away. Implementation is the key to making sure that the utilization is worthwhile doing. Utilization is the second step. Third step is implementation. And then making sure you had some successes. And the last one, as some of you already know, is going back to basics at least a couple of times a year. So what are you learning now? What are you taking on board? What back to basic processes are you learning? Have you got a utilization plan? Make sure there's a plan of action to utilize straight away, then implement. Make sure that plan is in place before you go to the training. Oh yes. And then go back and practice, drill, rehearse, and then implement it as quickly as possible and celebrate your success. All right, guys, hopefully that helps. If you're learning something new, great. If you're not part of the Sales Success Club, join. It's free. It's on Facebook. Pop in there, say, I'd love to join, answer a few little questions, and you can go through some learning. We've got tons of videos there, heaps of resources to have completely for free. And if you like, grab a sales growth plan too. And we'll go through a bit of a deep dive and give you some more things that can teach you that you can implement over the next 60 to 90 days. Don't learn too much. Make sure you utilize it and make sure less is best. Okay? I'm Dr. J. I'll talk to you a bit later. Bye for now.